Bliss Revitalize Collagen by Sol. We're talking about a collagen product that brings in a couple things you don't normally see in collagens. Velositol. Velositol specifically is something that I thought was really interesting in this collagen because you don't often see Velositol alongside collagen, even though we've been asking for it for some time. Now, we talked in the podcast at Supply Side West with Nutrition 21 about Velositol and all the other ways that we might possibly be able to use it outside of just pairing it with whey protein, which was the classic kind of first response to the data that originally came out. One of the big things that we've been interested in is pairing it with other things that are kind of around protein, but aren't necessarily just saying, hey, take less whey protein and make more out of it. So something like collagen, which is still technically a protein, but works in other ways, Velositol might help you get more out of that. Let's explore it with this formula. Off the top, we've got 12 grams of bovine collagen peptides. Now, these are going to be collagen type 1 and type 2. Bovine collagen peptides actually mostly consist of collagen type 1 and type 3. Now, type 1 is the most common collagen in all of nature. Most of connective tissue is going to be this type 1. Tendons, ligaments. Our body uses type 1 to hold heavy loads. Now, type 3 is going to be important for tissue damage caused by inflammation. This should raise a flag for a lot of you guys. Chronic inflammation is a growing health concern for a lot of different people. Exercise itself actually causes inflammation, so this could be helpful for a lot of people. These two ingredients are going to be very helpful and synergize together very well, especially with dealing with wound healing or healing in general. These two together are going to be something that I definitely look for. Now, we talk a lot about collagen for skin because it definitely helps out there, but one thing we want to call out is the ratio of glycine to methionine. When it comes to metabolic health, this can be a big factor. As it turns out, collagen is actually a really big source of glycine. So having a higher glycine from collagen is really going to help out with metabolic health. A lot of people looking at collagen are usually looking at for skin health, maybe hair and nails as well. Metabolic health is something that helps everyone, not just folks who are trying to lose weight, but metabolic health itself is a big driver of what we consider to be overall longevity, health, all-cause mortality. With all that being said, one thing I do want to note is that there is a main limitation of collagen being that it's not very good for anabolism. Trying to grow muscles, collagen will definitely help because you're going to be strength training in that endeavor, but it itself is not going to be helpful for recovery from training and adaptations from training. Now, from there, we talk about 2 grams of Velositol. The big ingredient that I was saying makes this a lot different than other collagens out there. Now, high amylopectin starch, waxy maize, from Velositol is how this is labeled. But what you really want to know is that Velositol is going to be a blend of chromium picolinate, chromium histamine, and amylopectin starch. The function here is to increase the bioavailability of dietary protein and those amino acids inside of it, like that glycine and methionine I was talking about there. Now, the idea for this comes from Chromax, a similar ingredient that they use for metabolic health, insulin sensitivity, stuff like that. It works in a similar fashion, but in here we're really talking about bioavailability of protein and, in my opinion, the adaptations that come from that. There's a lot of downstream benefits that we can talk about that I don't think are talked about enough. If you're interested in that, definitely check out our podcast with Nutrition 21 and Supply Side West. The big caveat here, which I really need to be upfront about, is that there's no data on collagen and Velositol publicly shared and how it would work together. So this is all theoretical here. Let's talk about it. So when we look at studies using Velositol with BCAAs or whey, we talk about how serum amino acids were elevated much more when using these amino acids with Velositol than just using them on their own. Velositol noticeably increased leucine by 87%, isoleucine by 70%, and valine by 18%. And in some ways, collagen is really just a cluster of amino acids there, so in a lot of ways, this is a very similar concept. The amino acids from collagen that we're looking to boost by using it likely are going to be boosted in absorption by using Velositol alongside it. Now, Sol also really majors in actual health supplements, and because of that, there are some other benefits to Velositol that I think are important to kind of note. That being chromium being a trace mineral that we are usually low in, and it helps out a lot with insulin signaling in your body. Having better insulin signaling in your body is going to help out a lot with a lot of things, most notably your metabolism, which has a ton of downstream benefits on actual full health panels, all-cause mortality, and, maybe losing a little bit of fat as well. After that, we talk about Adansonia digitata fruit powder. It's organic, and we've got a gram of it, and I may have butchered that pronunciation. Now, maintaining blood sugar level is really helpful for metabolism, like we spoke about, but it's also really important for skin health. And that's one of the reasons that average consumers are going to be using collagen is for skin health. Insulin resistance and the hyperglycemia associated with it have actually been linked to pretty nasty skin manifestations, including acne and a few other things that honestly I can't pronounce. Improving your skin health can definitely start with a healthier diet, and a lot of that is going to come from not having so many ups and downs of blood sugar itself. A randomized controlled study on this ingredient itself found that it was capable of significantly reducing postprandial blood glucose levels. So that's blood glucose immediately following a meal. It's also anti-inflammatory, which is also going to have a big deal on skin health. For a lot of us who have skin conditions, I personally have rosacea, and I'm reminded of it every day by the comments in these videos. High fluctuations of blood sugar and also inflammatory foods are going to have a big impact on us who have skin issues. So that's why a lot of us will stay away from FODMAPs, inflammatory foods, processed food, stuff like that. And so being a little more proactive and using things that are anti-inflammatory and help more with blood sugar can be a way to prevent those types of flare-ups. From there, we've got Tremella, which is a fruiting body mushroom extract at a gram. This is also known as white fungus. It's an edible mushroom that naturally grows in tropical climates. It's been used in traditional Chinese medicine for forever, like a lot of other mushrooms out there. One animal study found that it reduces blood glucose in diabetic rats by 52%. Pretty incredible. It's also found in other evidence to be immune boosting, neuroprotective, and antioxidant, and also has, like we said, anti-inflammatory benefits. We've actually never written or talking about this mushroom before on PricePlow, so that's always an impressive thing when we work with Soul, is finding things that we don't normally see. And now this next ingredient is definitely going to serve up a big anti-inflammatory thing. And what I really like about all these concepts here is that you can apply this to a lot of different lifestyles, whether it is reducing inflammation from hardcore training in athletics, or if you're looking for help in your appearance, getting rid of inflammation, which systemic inflammation can have a lot of issues for skin issues or manifestations of flare-ups. Turmeric being this next one at 250 milligrams using curcuwite. This is probably one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory supplements that we have at our disposal. Turmeric itself is a spice that belongs to the Zingiberaceae family, which also counts ginger alongside it. Ginger and turmeric are very similar. Curcumin may be an ingredient that you're more familiar with. Turmeric and curcumin are very closely related because curcumin is about 3% of the content of turmeric. It's one of several different curcuminoids that occurs naturally in turmeric, but it is definitely one of the best known, especially for this topic being anti-inflammation. All curcuminoids, including curcumin itself, exhibit antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. And that's why researchers and users of supplements look at curcuminoids as having a serious potential in prevention of serious diseases, particularly in the liver, cardiovascular, and brain areas. Curcumin itself downregulates the COX-2 enzyme, and that's the same enzyme that's targeted by non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen. It also really helps out with endothelial dysfunction. It's a cardiovascular health issue. It's been shown to improve endothelial function and maybe even reverse the progression of heart disease, although that's a claim that I'm really nervous to talk about. We do have a citation for it in our blog if you're interested. One study found that heart disease patients who supplemented with curcumin had a 65% lower risk of heart attack during their hospital stay. It's kind of big. Now they finished it off with some other patented ingredients like Astrion from NuLiv. This is going to be a proprietary combination of astragalus and Centella asiatica. That's a common thing for NuLiv to combine constituents of astragalus and other herbs and botanicals to make some really cool benefits. What we're looking for here is the astragalosides and the acetoicoside, some other triterpenes. The astragalosides specifically help with protecting skin cells and maintaining collagen. Collagen kind of helps with the elasticity of skin. And the acetoicosides trigger hyaluronic acid production. Hyaluronic acid is a really great ingredient and compound for skin health. And it also helps with the synthesis of new collagen. Like I said, collagen is very important for the elasticity of skin, so we're trying to maintain it, keep it healthy, and produce more. Now, when we put those together and create Astrion, there is specific studies on that as well. A dozen different in vitro studies have found that Astrion can upregulate collagen type 1 in epidermal cells by 60% and dermal cells by 80%. But the first ever clinical trial of Astrion found that people who took it experienced a 15% reduction in the appearance of wrinkles and a 17% reduction in melanated sunspots. Pretty incredible. Now, collagen doesn't include a bunch of different amino acids, and that's something that is really important, like I was saying before, for noting that it's not one to use for post-workout. One of them they're missing is tryptophan. So there's added tryptophan here at 100 milligrams. Tryptophan is converted into 5-HTP. 5-HTP is converted into serotonin via L-amino acid decarboxylase. Serotonin then converts to N-acetylserotonin, and N-acetylserotonin converts to melatonin. Tryptophan can even be used to create NAD+, which is a key thing that drops as we age and really has a lot to do with our mental capacity. There's a lot of different reasons why tryptophan would be important here. I'm just glad they're adding it in because it's definitely missing from the protein of enough collagen, and if I'm taking protein, I want to make sure it's as complete as possible. Now, rounding out here on the end, a couple of the ingredients that we usually see at the end are AstraGin. AstraGin's added in here to help out with the absorption of a lot of different ingredients. And lastly, we've got Dermavol here at 50 milligrams. Dermavol is a blend of a whole bunch of different fruit and vegetable powders. You're gonna have a lot of things like antioxidant capabilities here mostly. Dermavol helps prevent glycemia-driven HNE release. HNE release is human neutrophil elastase, and that's associated with the degeneration and the inflammation of the skin, because it breaks down collagen type 4. What's nice about this though is that Dermavol does not actually reduce postprandial blood glucose levels. It just stops the release in response to the glycemia. Kind of cool. Now, sole videos are always long for me, so I appreciate you guys making it through this. This is a complicated product, but it is an effective product. I don't think that everyone needs to understand all the nuances of how it works for them, but just know that it will work for you if you're looking for these types of things. Specifically, I use it because my skin, I'm always trying to improve it, even though I have a condition that I have to constantly be working on. And other than that, it also helps out with inflammation with the body, which I create a ton of through training in various different sports and disciplines. I have to say, we got this product for free, and we do have a business affiliate relationships with some of the ingredient companies in here, but we don't have anything with Sol itself. So we do have a coupon code for them, but we don't make any money off of it. So if you want to check this out, I hope that this video helps you understand it better and better inform your buying decision. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.